Hey there, tech fans. Today I've got the brand new Blink Mini 2 camera. This is the smallest camera currently available in the entire Blink ecosystem and includes a lot of improvements over the original Blink Mini that I think you'll find interesting. But before I get to all that, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the basic kit, and then I'll dive into the features and functions. So when you first open up the box, you'll find the brand new Blink Mini 2, and it looks a lot like the original Blink Mini, but you'll notice some cosmetic changes and a lot of technical improvements, again, that I'll get into in a minute. Also included with the kit is a USB power supply. This is a standard 5 volt, 1.5 amp power supply. So if you're going to set this up indoors, you can plug this into a wall outlet and use the cable to connect the power supply to the camera to provide all the power you'll need for operation. Also included in the kit are 2 wood screws you can use to mount this to a wall or mount it to anything really with the screws. And you'll find a quick start guide also included that explains how to set the camera up. You'll basically download the Blink application, you'll put it in search mode for a new camera, you'll add it to your ecosystem, and then you can start using the camera. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's different between the Generation 1 and the Generation 2. Well, for starters, the biggest difference is the Mini was an indoor camera only. It wasn't waterproof. You couldn't use it outside unless you got a big case around it. So it was basically a very small security camera or surveillance camera you could set up in your home to keep an eye on things in a particular room. The Mini 2, completely waterproof, which means it's both indoor and outdoor, which is really nice because if you want to set it up on your deck, you might take up a little bit less space and it's a little more innocuous. People won't actually see it. So it's up there in the corner. People are coming by. They may not even notice the camera. So I like it compared to the Blink Outdoor, which is a much bigger camera. So first off, it's waterproof. Second, it has a light on it. So it's got a spotlight on the front that you can trigger through the application. Also, if it detects motion in front of it, it'll trigger the spotlight. So it allows you to illuminate an area when something's going on there of interest. And I think that's really nice. This one didn't have that. This still has two-way audio, which is great. It also has changed the charging cord from a micro USB to a USB-C. Now that may seem like a small thing, but the micro USB connection is a really old connection that pretty much isn't used anymore in electronics. So I think it's nice that Blink updated that connection on the back to be a USB-C. And the cable actually is a USB-A, which plugs into the charger, and the other end has this sort of grommet around the outside of it, and a USB-C connection here that you'll plug directly into the back of the unit. And when you make that connection, that completely seals up the back of the unit. Another thing they've improved on the Blink Mini 2 is the field of view. Now the field of view is what the camera is seeing in front of it. How wide can it see to either side? It's sort of like your peripheral vision when you're walking down the street and somebody's on either side of you. You've got this peripheral vision where you notice things to the side. Well, field of view is the same for a camera. This one was fairly narrow. This one is a lot wider, which is almost the entire backyard. And that's a benefit because if you have an area you want to view, you want to make sure you can see all those corners and edges. With this one, it's a little bit narrower, so you may need 2 cameras, whereas with this one, you only need that single camera. A couple of other improvements on this particular model is that if you're using the doorbell and you want to add an additional chime to it, you can tie this into the doorbell, the Blink doorbell. So this will act as a chime. When somebody pushes that doorbell, all the chimes will go off in your house, but this will also make that ding-dong sound like somebody's at your front door, which can be really handy if you've got this set up on the deck and you're out there relaxing in the afternoon. Ding-dong, you know somebody's at your front door, you can run out there and see what's going on. 2 other things that are kind of nice about this one versus the original is that you can run this without a subscription. You don't need the Amazon subscription to use it, but if you decide to use that Amazon monthly subscription, you'll get 2 additional benefits. The first one is that you'll be able to do advanced person detection, which means it's going to notice any kind of movement in front of the camera and trigger an alert to let you know something's going on. But with this one, it's more sophisticated with the subscription where it can actually detect a person versus a cat or a dog or a leaf rolling in front of the camera. Because the challenge with this one was that if anything moved in front of the camera, it would trigger that alert. So indoors, it's not a big deal because somebody walking into a room would trigger it, and that's something you want to know about. But if this were outside, that leaf blowing by or the tree waving like that in the background might trigger the camera. With this one, and you have the subscription, it'll actually can tell the difference between a person or a branch, so it's not going to trigger as often. Another benefit to this one is you can stream up to 90 minutes of video directly, which is one of the complaints about the other cameras, that you couldn't stream. It was basically very short bursts of information coming from the camera for video. With this one, you can stream up to 90 minutes directly off the camera, which is pretty cool. And then the last thing I'll mention is that this is the indoor kit right here. This isn't waterproof unless you make it waterproof by putting it inside an enclosure, but they make a heavy-duty outdoor connection kit that you can use with this camera that's completely watertight. So if you're going to mount this outside your home, which is a great thing to use outside your home, make sure you pick up that secondary kit, because that allows you to connect it up to a power source and not have to worry about electricity and water and everything else going on. It, again, still has a two-way audio conversation with somebody in front of the camera. It has night vision right now. It has color night vision as well, which is better than the original Mini. So everything about it has gotten sort of a bump up in features. So it's a much better camera than the original. Again, like I'd mentioned, wider field of view, better night vision, can be used as a chime. It's got the light on the front, which will illuminate the area. So everything about this is a major improvement over the original Mini. And that's pretty much all I had for this video. So hopefully you found this helpful. Thanks an awful lot for watching.